Ladies and gentlemen, greetings and hello. This video is going to be really an interesting one. We're in VR chat, which no one saw coming. I am double broken up because I'm going through a breakup recently, and we parted as humans, but then we just parted as cat and fish also, said our VR goodbyes, because there was like we parted on friendly terms, but that was really like not damaging terms, which is different than friendly. And it turns out seeing him in the contacts list, he was still part of the Discord server. He was still admin for crying out loud, which made him the first name on the list. Yeah, it was too much. I couldn't handle that. So we barely, like within the last hour, it's been 30 minutes or so, said goodbye for possibly the last time until I run into him in Resonite at some point, which will happen when I get better at being in Resonite again, which is part of why I'm in VR chat now, which is not the point of this video. The point of this video is I am retiring the pink room. I'm retiring it. This is the last pink room video because you gotta go out on a banger some of these times. And when you're feeling something, I kind of feel like it's important to encapsulate it when you're in it, when you're in the mood, when you're feeling it. And I don't know why. I don't know. But the very last thing that happened that he said is going to be in my head forever. And I do have absolute everything, like absolute clarity, like absolute of just, I can say spec. It's not X, fish. It's just say whatever. It's just, we're good. Things are good. We're chill. Everything's chill. Everything's chill. And this is personal. I like being able to be personal, and I am. I try to be personal in these videos. So I do have the absolute confidence in being able to be personal now about things that even include another person, because Spec said quite specifically multiple times that it's fine. And this is something that I feel like immortalizing, and it feels like the perfect way to end both like my relationship, which ended already, but then also this phase in this saga, because things are moving forward and I am moving forward. And this room is where it all began. This room is where it started. And for this chapter, it feels really excellent if this room is also where it ends. I'm going to set the scene just a tiny little bit. Maybe like an hour long conversation or so. Hard to say for sure. And we caught up a little bit. I talked about just what's been holding me back, because it wasn't like asking permission, can I make videos about us? Because I just whatever, like it's happening. It was always going to happen. It's happening now. It was just much more of, as I talk through my personal experiences, which is not even just myself through heartbreak and saying your final goodbyes to someone and breaking up for the second time in VR instead of like in Discord, like, oh hey, by the way, I need you to leave the Discord. Like, that sucks, because we had something great. So meeting up in VR person, that was just the right way to do it. And chronicling the correct way to second time break up with someone from two different worlds, it's a wild time. VR is a wild time. But I was always going to be chronicling that sort of thing, because that's just a good experience to be able to see. And it's good for me, too, to be able to express those things and immortalize the really good things, or when there is a challenging aspect, to be able to talk through that. So I'm going to finish setting the scene real quick, and then I'm going to talk about the challenging thing, and then I'll try and figure out why I made a video about the challenging thing, because I don't want the last thing that happens to be the challenging thing. I'd rather the last thing that happens in this moment to be immortalizing the challenging thing, trying to understand more about how I relate to it, and saying goodbye to the place where it all began also. So let's move on, please. There's a lot of video ahead of us. And we are having a moment right now where the details of what we talked about, that stays. That's mine. You guys don't get that. There's being personal, and there's being honest and open, and there's also knowing the good grace of what parts are special, like what stays. And the last hour, it doesn't feel good to say specifically how that went, because it's far too meaningful. It's probably the most meaningful hour of this year, and it's the new year. So this year has been 5 days long, and I spent 36 hours drunk or high because New Year's Eve was really hard because I missed him so much, and that's when I realized I can't be seeing him in the contacts list because it was too much for me. So what I'm saying is at the start of this year, this was the most meaningful hour I've had, so that was actually kind of fun to realize. So you don't get specific details. The only thing I'm trying to say here is that it went well. We parted well. The thing that I think I can talk about, and the kind of thing that I think I have to talk about, because there's actually a principle here that I need to enact, and it's principles that are important for me to share on this channel. I'm trying to remember the important things. There's a lot of important things, but the principle I like here, and that makes it worth talking about the very last thing that was said, which until I run into him again, I will never know what this was about. Because this can go two ways that I can immediately think of, and will probably forever be thinking of always until I make a video about it, so I can just, here's all my thoughts about it, and then never think about it again until I run into him and ask him, because it was so unexpected. We were ending off in just kind of a little bit of a tiff, just because I brought up an ambition, and then that was just met with, like it was just not exactly a tiff, but then he was being teasing, but then I was in a heightened mood because I'm just emotional all the time, and it was like, a fantastic hour, and then the last like 5 minutes did not stick the landing, which you hate to see. You didn't stick the landing, but that's okay. I mean, who can blame him? I'm insufferable, but then also he's teasing, and I didn't want to be teased. I wanted to be like, hey, let's be real. Let's talk. I don't even know what happened. We just didn't stick the landing. And one phrase that came into our lexicon not too long ago is spaghetti touch. It came from one of our mutual friends, and I don't know where he got it from, but when your mind makes like a million different leaps, and that makes me think of that, makes me think of that, makes me think of that, they call that spaghetti touching, and I guess that's just because a plate of spaghetti is a plate of thoughts that are all touching, and they hop around, or something, I don't know. But I had like an ADHD moment where I brought up something unrelated, but to me it was related. The spaghetti touched, and it was not received well, I guess. And I just barely tried talking a little bit more about the spaghetti touch, how it went. But that started getting too personal, and that's where it's just, that's for me. That's very special. The last hour was special for me. And we did not stick the landing because at some point the spaghetti touched. I was thinking about different avatars, different models, and it was connected at some point, but I brought up that if I had a squirrel version, I would be Phineas Squirrelmer. That's about the last thing I said to my ex. I imagine the touch of spaghetti might have been something like, I want to be different than the person that I am. I have different avatars or different models, or it might have been the modeling work that I have been doing in recent history. But while I was thinking about different models and avatars, I was thinking about different skins, and then I was thinking about one that I have on the way and how you can operate differently if you have a different skin or a different model. And then I got thinking about I have a fox on the way, I don't have a squirrel on the way. Me as a squirrel, Phineas Squirrelmer, aha. And it was a spaghetti touch at just not the right time, I think. And like, come on, this is Phineas Former. If I'm not putting my foot in my mouth, I have full body tracking. I can try that. That would be the dumbest thing in the world. But I like when Phineas Former is dumb. It's very natural. It's very natural. I guess let me try. This is as far as you're getting. That's as far as you're getting. I'm not doing it, but I tried. I did my best, and I really did my best effort on that one. I tried. It was just the wrong time to kind of make a joke. It was a pun, but it didn't fit the mood. It was just not right, and we were already not sticking the landing. And what I did about not sticking the landing was talk about myself, something that's not related. And it's like we were talking about us and other fun things and how things used to be and what some of the challenges were. And things were like probably winding down, but I certainly didn't need to come in hot with a non sequitur about me, because we had been engaging in a moment together. And what I did was, oh, hey, by the way, real quick, my spaghetti touched. Here's me again. Let's talk about me, which I do all the time. And I kind of feel like that would have been a lovely moment not to talk about me. It's not about me. It's not about me. Which helps. It's good to know that it's not about me, because it's not. You know, I don't want that responsibility. You know, like, it's not about me, and that's a good thing. But I did make it about me, and either the man is very sensitive about squirrels, because he became distraught and left pretty immediately after. My suspicion is that it was a moment which was precious, but we weren't on the same page about it, and hence the landing was not being stuck. And I feel like what I did with it was absolutely not where he would have gone with it, which demonstrates how our relationship really kind of did go. That's what I receive when my little squirrel, Phineas Squirrelmer, it seemed to affect him negatively. But the fact is that I did make it about me. And we'll get to the principle soon, because my interpretation is that I made it about me, but it's not something I'll ever know. And he said, no, he wasn't. I can't tell you what he said. It's special. But that little squirrel thing was, up until I do run into him again, the last thing that I said. And then there was like a very hasty goodbye. So it wasn't like the last thing I said. We said like, oh, see you later, you know, Phineas former. Oh, see you later, Spec. And then that was it. That was it, which is better than just my crappy squirrel thing. But it's basically the last thing that I said. So first of all, it haunts me forever, because it's Phineas Squirrelmer. Are you kidding me? Phineas Squirrelmer? Phineas Squirrelmer sticks every landing. That's all that Phineas Squirrelmer does. I mess up. All the time. I'm a nightmare. I say the wrong things. I put my foot in my mouth sometimes when I'm being bold, and that's not today, but I make mistakes constantly. Not Phineas Squirrelmer. Phineas Squirrelmer is a god among men. Phineas Squirrelmer is a champion. Because look at him. He doesn't actually even exist right now. And I just thought the name would be funny. But I kind of feel like now, if it's the last thing that happened in my relationship after I said goodbye for the second time, yeah, Phineas Squirrelmer is going to happen now, because I would never do the disservice of allowing a landing not to stick. I will do everything in my power to make this a good thing. If Phineas Squirrelmer is... I'm probably a little unhinged in crashing out because I just said goodbye to someone I loved for the second time. But I actually really just kind of feel like Phineas Squirrelmer is the answer. And so I usually don't love when I play around with different avatars, but I did pull out the squirrel. I have yet another cat as my avatar. We're just going to do avatar things for a little bit. This is weird, but I'm going to pull out the squirrel, and you can get a glimpse of Phineas Squirrelmer, who is on the way. Probably. Definitely. Probably. And I don't really even have... I'm a squirrel. But I don't really have a lot of models or representations of myself. And my favorite things is... We'll be done with this really soon, I promise. But my favorite things was always the yet another family of avatars by Squirrelbite, because they're really expressive. That's the cat, and the squirrel is made by the same people. There's also a fox, and I have a fox on the way right now. But because Phineas Squirrelmer is the last thing that took place in a relationship which was near and dear to me and always will be, and maneuvered me into this life position, which is just correct for me, Phineas Squirrelmer must come to pass. And so I beg you all just to imagine, please, for just a moment, a beautiful black squirrel. Pink spots, wooded spots, squirrel, bushy squirrel tail. And if you move around a little fast, like... You know, you can see the tail. You can see the tail move, and I never thought I'd be a squirrel, and I don't think I'll be a squirrel forever. But I think Phineas Squirrelmer, I can be Phineas Squirrelmer. You don't get it yet. You don't get it yet. But I do have a fox on the way, and I'm going to, right when I'm done doing this, for reasons unbeknownst to me, probably because I'm going through I don't know if it's an existential crisis, but I have officially left where I was. Let me change back, and we'll finish this thought. And that just feels so much better. Except for in the time it took me to put on this avatar instead, I absolutely forgot everything I was right about to say about Phineas Squirrelmer, safe to say that I love him and he is perfect. And who knows? Actually, so long as we're doing the avatar thing, yeah, sure. I'll pull out the one that we're all more used to. The black hair has a certain meaning to me. So does the white hair. So let's pull out the Phineas former that we all know and love. We also know and love this one, and we also will know and love Phineas Squirrelmer. Oh, yeah, I was going to talk about the avatar thing too, because I have one commissioned. So right after this, I'm going to go talk to Sefu, who made this and did such a good job. And I'm on the wait list. He's going to make my fox, but I'm going to say like, hey, by the way, can I just throw more money at you, and then you can just do a squirrel at the same time, please, because I need Phineas Squirrelmer in my life so badly. The world does, honestly. It's not about me at that point. It's about you. Anyway, I may or may not be a little bit distraught with my... Oh, I have my leash on. Oh, you never see me with my leash on either. What a bunch of firsts we are having right now. But you don't get to see my leash for very long. You've had enough of my leash. And I understand that I'm jumping around a whole bunch in this video right now, which I'm just allowing because I'm really tired of trying to be anything other than myself. And if I want to jump around because I feel like making a video after double breaking up, well, I'm just saying goodbye, not double breaking up, but I don't know if this video is exactly what it is. And it's a pink room video. It's the last pink room video. It gets to be what I want it to be. But one of the things I'd been thinking through recently, because there's been a lot of life change. A lot of life change recently. And one of the changes I've noticed is feeling a lot more unified within myself. And I think it might be in part because I don't have the energy to be separate. I do not. Not at all. And for a time, I needed Phineas Former, as you see him now. I've talked a lot about it in the past, but when I didn't know how to express myself, Phineas. It's my tagline in VR chat right now, right here. Go to my profile and read it for sure. Yeah, I use VR to help me feel like myself, but there's people inside my headset and they scare me. Be nice, please. Oh, just kidding, that's the different one. What I'm thinking of is probably on my YouTube channel. I think the description is, I use VR and as hacks to feel more like myself. Let me know if it's working. It did work. Because being able to record a video, edit it, watch it later, I know what I was feeling on the inside as I created a piece of art, which these videos count as... I'm sorry, Phineas Former detractors, this is art. If you're a detractor, what are you doing here? There's no detractors here. Gosh dang, I'm full of concepts. Give me a sec. Because of the absolute public nature of this, and there's so much content to consume in the entire world, people will only consume the things that they're drawn to consume, whether it's for hatred or irony, which doesn't exist either. People are going to be here only if they want to be here, because there's so many places that they could be. If I sit and I worry about like, oh wow, what did the haters think? Bitch, you have no haters. And if you do have a hater, they're wasting their time because they're in the wrong part of the entire internet, the entire world, because we live in a world of consumerism. There's so much for everyone to be able to do all of the time. So what are you worried about? Like, what are people going to think? It's like, well, either they won't think anything and they'll leave, or they will think positively and they will stay. Time to move on. It's a Phineas Former video, baby. Tried and true. What can I tell you? But for a really long time, I didn't know how to be more carefree, how to make videos. But then also what kind of style of video, what goes into a video, how to present myself, because I've always just had been super shy, and everything that you see on this channel, I never knew how to exhibit. I never knew how to feel it. I knew it was in there, but I'd been really locked off. I needed Phineas Former to teach me that. And I'm happy, I think, to announce that I no longer do. Neither am I sad to announce or happy. I don't know. I feel, I don't know how I feel about it, but I no longer need Phineas in the way that I did. I think maybe that's been holding me back a little bit because I keep trying to be Phineas, and it's like, well, no, Phineas was always kind of a stand-in for the parts of myself which were locked off. It was very hard to be Phineas, then it became easy to be Phineas, and now being Phineas doesn't count anymore. That's not a phrase that makes sense. Because there is no longer a Phineas. It's me. It's just me. And there used to be me as a human who had to put on the headset. And only after I put on the headset and the trackers, only then could I be Phineas. And usually I was just the human who was scared and trying to do something new. But now it's all just me. When I'm in the real world, I feel much more free and accessible to myself, and then accessible to other people also. Less afraid of being myself, being a little bit of Phineas in the real world. It worked. And then the white hair doesn't hit the way that it ever used to, because a video like this, I'd be like, is this going to be an okay video? I don't know. And it's like, bitch, it's my video. It's my video. This is my video. And you're watching it. Art belongs to the beholders. So this is your video too. What? What a cool experience we're having right now. It's just a video. Like, what? This is so good, but it's not laden. Like, it doesn't have as much inherently as it used to. I used to just be able to walk on frame and be this and do my best, and that was enough. But it no longer is. I haven't known what to do with that, really. I'm going to go back to the black hair, though, because that is what feels the most like a unified self, opposed to Phineas former, which was the kind of, I think you might say, like a voice of an inner child of some sort. And that, there we go. But it's not inner child anymore. It's just me. It's all part of me. So I'll just have white hair when I feel like having white hair. It doesn't matter. But black hair feels much more like me. So we're going to have black hair again. So 1 second. And what a loosey-goosey, carefree experience we are having, all of us. What a sheer delight. Now, the reason I'm doing all of this, though, is because all of this life change has got me thinking a whole bunch, I suppose, is all I'm really trying to say. As I feel different, I am different, and as I broke apart at the tail end of my relationship there, when you look at the pieces of what it is when you break apart, you want to try and put yourself back together, the pieces of me looked different than the version of me that broke apart. I didn't see it for the longest time because I was so busy trying to make a relationship work that maybe it was just two people that weren't quite meant for it, It's hard to say for sure. But I was trying so hard to make it work that I misplaced some of the development that had been going on the inside, I suppose, something like that. But when it broke apart and I just realized I can be Phineas, I can be myself, I can do whatever. It's all chill. It's all groovy, man. And I gotta say, I felt a little bit sad that, it's not, because the white hair used to mean something and now the black hair means something. And it was nice having a body of self to work with. I liked that. It was lovely having a stand-in for inner child when I needed that. And right now, it's lovely having a stand-in for unification, which I need. Kind of. It's not like I'm about to be IRL tuber because, are you kidding me? Humans are dumb, and I'm a cat, right? That's clearly better. But my favorite thing is intrapersonal growth. It's what this channel was always about. It's what my entire life has been, long before I was Phineas Former. When I was doing writing forever ago, I always loved trying to pursue new things and unlock different elements of myself. Phineas was great for that, and I just haven't known how to proceed, I guess, now that I've got inner child on lock. We're doing good there, but what comes next? I haven't really known. But I'm happy to announce, ladies and gentlemen, please, Squirrelmer. Phineas Squirrelmer. Phineas Squirrelmer is up next. And it's not only about the squirrel. I know I'm doing the squirrel thing again, because I want to turn Phineas Squirrelmer, first of all, into a thing, but I want him to be a really good thing. I want Phineas Squirrelmer to be something I'm really proud of. I've been proud of Phineas Former the whole time. Even the videos I haven't been proud of, I know what went into them, what I was trying for, and it's beautiful. All of it's beautiful. The journey has been beautiful, and I learned a lot. But for Phineas Squirrelmer, to be really proud of Phineas Squirrelmer, it's the dumbest thing. No. Why? It's lovely, though. Because the best thing that I could do to pay service to myself, but also my entire world, where I came from, even just where I came from an hour ago when I said goodbye to someone I love deeply for the second time. I want to be able to commemorate that, and I want to make that a good moment for the rest of time. It's what the relationship deserves, the memory of it, but it's what it's hard to describe, but it's what the universe deserves. I can't say any more or less than that. I'm just going to drop it off. But that is what must happen. Because I fucked up by saying Phineas Squirrelmer and making it about me. And I love the idea. I love the name. Don't get me wrong. But I just want to do something good with it instead of, letting it be dumb. I don't want things to end off on a dumb way. But now that things are done with me and my ex, my spec, and I have to do something. My actions are my own. If I want this to be better, I have to do something about it. And I don't need to use any of what I have so far, because that's not pushing myself. I don't need to make a video and be proud of that when I'm not pushing myself for something. I want to try and achieve something new that really exhilarates me. And I've spent a tremendous amount of time being really shy and sheepish and recalcitrant. For a year or maybe 2 years now, I've been making videos, and people have seen the journey. Scared little kitty cat. I'm going to karaoke now all the time. Yeah. But before, a year and a half ago, I couldn't go to a Halloween party. I tried going, and then I went to a corner of the world and cried and made a video about it. Because I couldn't do it. I couldn't socialize with people in VR, and now I'm doing it on the regular. It's lovely. And I'm really tired of being the person who's afraid of being themselves. That's an identity I've developed on accident when I was learning how to be myself, the whole inner child thing, right? The white hair. I was trying to figure that out, and it was hard to do. I was shy about it. There was a certain amount of kind of shame or apology about it. It was not easy to do. I want to be more brazen, a little more forward. I want to do something that's bigger, and I don't have an avatar for that. I only have black hair, unified. Even the unified version of me is still apologetic, because something I've never learned really is just strict and plain, unwavering confidence in myself and my actions and the things that I do. And sure, that's interesting to say, because I do make these videos all the time. Even just earlier today, a friend told me that they think what I do is very brave for being able to be honest in these videos like I do. But I've been honestly afraid. I'd rather be honestly better than that. And I feel like I can be. And so this is probably the last time you will see the squirrel, because I am not yet Phineas Squirrelmer. I am not a fantastic woodland creature with pink spots and a leg that will still be blue and a tail that will just be whatever Sefu decides to make it. I am not yet Phineas Squirrelmer, but Phineas Squirrelmer is on the way. It's what I'm working towards. It's how I want to immortalize where I've been and pay respect to it by turning all of it into something beautiful. And the principle I would like to uncover for you today as I close out the video in an avatar which is not typically me, is that I had a beautiful experience with that last conversation, the last goodbye with someone that I love. We did not stick the landing because I put my foot in my mouth. This leg's not blue yet, so it doesn't look fun when I demonstrate that I have a leg. But it was a lovely time, and then we did not stick the landing, and it did not end off with a lovely taste in my mouth. Don't take that out of context. And the only thing that I can control is my actions. I can't control how I feel, but I know when I feel bummed out that we didn't stick the landing. It just kind of hurt, but I can control what I do about it. And I loved the idea of Phineas Squirrelmer so much. Clearly I did, because the spaghetti touched, And I said it when I shouldn't have, because I made the world about me again, which I think was probably part of the problem all along. It was a big part of the problem, actually. I have a very big head. We just... we know this of me. It's not a big deal. It's a bummer, but it's also just who I am, and that's fine. And I'm ready to stop pretending that it's not. I don't know, man. But I'm gonna put all of that into the squirrel, I think. As Phineas Squirrelmer doesn't doubt himself, that's something white hair Phineas does, and black hair Phineas, which is unified Phineas. Because I still doubt myself all of the time as just like a person. It's like, are you kidding me? I'm 33 in my parents' basement, wearing VR gear, funny trackers, and I'm a squirrel. Which is a good thing. It's a good thing. It's just not necessarily me, but it will become me as surely as Phineas Former became me also. We're just expanding it out. And I do want to be honest, this is not what I thought this video was going to be about. I was going to trade on something that was too personal. Like I've been saying about something stay secret for myself. Because there's a principle at play. I'll never know exactly why Phineas Squirrelmer sucked so much. I think I know. It's because I made it about me. But maybe he has a deep attachment to squirrels. And so it didn't stick the landing, not because I'm egotistical and made it about me and made a silly pun at the wrong time during the final moments of the final conversation with someone that I love. Like, maybe he just doesn't like squirrels. I don't know. Maybe. And I was going to talk about the uncertainty, about if you never know, then I don't know, something about not knowing why something happened. I think that I know, and I do have a pretty good idea. It's because I made it about me. At least that's my interpretation of what happened, which might as well make it the true interpretation in my internal world, because that's just how I receive things. And then I have to grapple with what that means for me. But what it's turned into ultimately, after following through on the whimsy of the video and the whimsy of the squirrel, I love it. But I do want to take ownership of the really stupid last thing I said to someone I loved and do love and wanted to spend decades of my life with. Yeah, the stupid thing I said is actually going to become a great thing, and that's just how I feel like responding when I made a silly reference to Phineas Squirrelmer. And I realized it's going to be like, oh, there's something here, and then, oops. But then also, I'm like, nah, we're gonna do it anyway, just because I want to. So this is the last time you get to see Phineas Squirrelmer until he is Phineas Squirrelmer. This is just a taste. You don't get any more than this right now, but Phineas Squirrelmer is on the way. A good, confident boy. The new age, the new thing I want to work on. I'm tired of being apologetic and shy and sheepish, and should I be doing this? I don't know. It's like, buddy, yes. Yes. You should always be doing it. What's in your heart, the thing that drives you, what invigorates you, the thing like, if you're 33 and you want to go in your parents' basement and do this, do it. For crying out loud, do it. Why not? No, but buddy, come on. You must. The world needs it. And for a long time, I've always felt like I'm special. The world needs me. It's like, no, it's not my gift that's special. If anyone feels any drive to do anything whatsoever, that is what it is to be absolutely true to whoever it is that person is. Never rob anyone in the world of what it is that you desire to do. It's beautiful because humans are strange. I'm doing something extremely strange right now, but it's kind of beautiful because I'm the only one stupid enough to do it. But it's not easy to do, and it takes energy. It's the whole thing, right? And no, not anymore. New model, new plan. Because I know where I've been. I kind of know where I am. And I know generally where I'm going, and the missing piece really is this confidence thing. I want to work on it. And it happens to coincide with Phineas Squirrelmer. So, oops, the future was chosen for me, which is case in point, the last thing we're going to tidy up this video, the really long video, but we're going to end it right now. I'm happy with this one. And I gotta be honest with you, it's been a long day. I'm emotionally drained, and I have no clue what I was just about to say because I said it, and then usually when I say something I have to take a pause, I like scoot over to a new part of the frame. That's just how I like making my videos. So I did that. And then in that little short sidestep, I was thinking about Phineas Squirrelmer, but then also the origin, which I will always know, is I put my foot in my mouth during the wrong time, and I feel like turning that into something beautiful instead of letting the whole situation fall flat, because I refuse to let what just happened end the way that it did, because everything deserves, like, the story, it deserves more than that. I deserve more than that. The people, the good people at home, you deserve more than that. Anyone attached to anything, man, it needs to be better than it was. We didn't stick the landing, but the landing will still be stuck. And that's pretty much it. And I have to go. I gotta eat something. I need to eat some food. There's a very sweet boy I've been spending time with, and we need to cuddle desperately because I'm sleepy, and it's just time for that. Also, I said goodbye to someone that I love, for the second time. And it's just time to move on. And I've told you a whole bunch about what that's like, and now it's time to actually pony up and do it. So this is, for the first time, the only time that you'll see him until he is properly born. But this is Phineas, former Squirrelmer, Phineas Squirrelmer, signing off. And I get to walk out of frame as a different model than usual, and how fun for everyone involved. I can't wait. This is going to be so fun. I got a big old bushy tail to walk out of frame with, and it's time. It's very much time. So thank you all for watching. You got cool things on the way. I can feel it, and I hope you can feel it too. So goodbye. I'll see you in the next one.